Hi, I'm Eric with Simply Elegant Home Cooking. Today I'm going to share with you my recipe for extra light and crispy beer battered onion rings. The way I make them is going to give you a light and crispy result. It's going to crunch almost like a potato chip when you bite into it. You might have had other onion rings that are heavy and kind of over breaded or even soggy. I'm going to show you a method to avoid all of those problems with your onion rings. So stick around. This recipe is very fast and easy, and I'm sure you're going to love it. So the first step with this recipe is to make the batter. The batter will need to sit out for 30 minutes once everything's been mixed together. So what you'll want to do is to prepare this first, and while it sits for 30 minutes, you can do the rest of your prep and also bring your oil to temperature. The oil is going to need to come up to 375 degrees, which is going to take a little bit of time. So I start with this first. What I have here is 1 cup of cake flour. Now you can use all-purpose flour, but cake flour is a little lighter. It's going to give us an even lighter, crispier end result. So we have a cup of cake flour. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of fine sea salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. What you want to do, you want to put your spices in with the cake flour. And I also have a Yingling. Now you can use any lager beer, and we're going to put about 3/4 of a cup in. But what I like to do is to go in a little at a time, because you can always add more. You cannot take it out. So what you want to do is you want to start by putting in maybe about 1/2 cup first and see where that takes us. Stir it up with the whisk. As you can probably tell, there's quite a bit of flour in here that's not incorporating, so we're going to need a little bit more moisture. At this point, you just want to add a little bit at a time, stirring to incorporate as you go. And with the end result, don't be afraid of some very small lumps. Once we mix this all together, a little bit of lumpiness is okay because that's actually going to dissipate as it sits out. This probably needs just one more shot. That should be plenty. So I'll stir this up. And that's how you want your batter to look. You'll notice there's some very small lumps in there. Don't worry about that. Those are going to go away. So I'm going to set this aside. We're going to let this sit for 30 minutes and we can prep the rest of the ingredients. So now that we have our batter mixed up and our oil is preheating, I'm using a Fry Daddy, but you could certainly use your stove top. You just want to use a candy thermometer and bring that up to 375 degrees. While we wait on that, we can prep the onion, which is very, very simple. I'm starting with a medium yellow onion. Now, I've removed the ends and I've removed, obviously, the peel. And all you want to do is you want to just cut this into thick rounds, about a 1/3 of an inch. You want to cut into rounds about that size, and you just want to push out these middle pieces. They don't have a very good result when they fry up. So you push that out and just separate the rest of the rings. They should look something like that. It's that simple. So I'm going to continue with the rest of the onion, and in a few more minutes we should be ready to fry this up. This is how your onion should look once it's been all cut up and prepped. I should also note that we made enough batter today for probably about 3 onions of this size. I'm only making 1 because I'm cooking just for myself, but you can certainly scale this recipe to feed a large crowd or just a small one. In the last few minutes, as your oil comes up to temperature, you just want to get all of your equipment laid out. So I have my onion rings and the batter to the left, the deep fryer in the center, and to the right I have another clean plate lined with paper towels. The onion rings cook very quickly in about 1.5 minutes, so you just want to make sure that you have everything close by. We're going to dip the rings in batches of about maybe 4 or 5 pieces into the batter, straight into the deep fryer, fry them up, transfer them to the paper towel, and repeat the process until we're done. Alright, so our oil has come up to temperature. What you want to do, throw in about 5 onion rings. Just mix these up real well. Make sure everything is fully coated. And once you've coated the surface area, you just want to hold them up like this for a few moments. Let them drip as much as they can, just so we don't get too much batter in the deep fryer. And when you lay them into the oil, just go one by one. Make sure you keep a close eye. These will be ready in about a minute and a half. About halfway through, you just want to give them a little stir, flip them around a little bit, just to make sure they don't stick together at all. And at about this point, some of them are starting to look done. So usually what you want to do is you want to grab the smaller ones. They cook a little faster. They should look exactly like that when they're done. Take that out, put it on the paper towel. This guy looks done. We'll grab the rest of them. So that's our first batch. I'm going to throw in another 5 or 6 rings and keep repeating the process till we've cooked everything up. So I've just finished the last of 3 batches. This is how they should look when they're all done. All you need to do now is hit them with some sea salt. And we're ready to plate these up. So here's how your onion rings should look when they're done. I'm going to just give them a try. What makes them so good is they literally crunch just like a potato chip. They're that light and crispy. If you follow this recipe, you don't need to go in with an egg or breadcrumbs or some of the things other people do in their recipes that create a really heavy, soggy onion ring. This is going to be light, crispy, and much more refreshing. So I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you enjoy. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.